Good morning, everyone. Thank you so much for joining us today. Since November of 24, 20 local residents have contributed their ideas, their insights to shape this beautiful mural that you're about to see. We would like to have a special thank you for Riva. Riva was part of the highly collaborative group that made this project possible through a partnership with New York State Water Resources Institute at Cornell University and their Submerse New York initiative, which was funded by FEMA's Cooperating Technical Partners. Additional support came from Cornell's Einhorn Center for Community Engagement and also the Rural Humanities Initiative. Without further ado, I would like to introduce Tarky. Tarky's going to talk a little bit about the project.
Thanks, Kelly. So, can you all hear me?
Yes.
All right. Let me see if I can maintain this volume for you. It really is a delight to be here. We've been working on this project for 2 years. So it started as an idea through Riva and the Cornell Cooperative, Water Resources Institute with Submerse New York, and we were thinking of a mural that would go maybe for waterworks, something addressing stormwater issues. Over the past few years, as everyone has noticed, the storms have become more frequent, and when they come, they're intense. So the amount of rainfall that we get has increased, and that has caused disturbances around our watersheds. In our watersheds, flooding. Flooding contributes to an increase in stormwater runoff and pollution coming into our waterways, whether it's the lakes or the streams or the rivers. And it inundates, in some cases, septic systems, and it can get into our drinking water supplies. So these are serious issues that Cornell was addressing and that we were trying to address on a smaller scale. So getting together with them has been it's just been wonderful. It's been a great collaboration. Well, during that same time, it would have been Indigenous Peoples Day, 2023, we were working on a project at the Everson Museum. Brandon was one of our presenters there. And so we started talking about a mural, since he does murals very well. In fact, that's not just very well, incredibly well. And so the idea of a Kettle Lakes mural came about. He came down, we toured the area, and he was as hooked as we were. So then it was a matter of, how do we do this? Who do we get involved? Well, we're talking about an area that starts from the Onondaga Nation, coming down through Tully and Preble and Homer, all the way down to New York. So the water flows predominantly, not exclusively, but for the most part, the water flows from the north to the south. So we're looking down through the west branch of the Tiafneoga down to the Susquehanna River, all the way down to the Chesapeake. So we're at the headwaters of that great big huge system. So how do you include the groups? Well, we put together, as Colleen has just alluded to, these community dialogue groups. And people from those different municipalities joined us. And there were historians, and there were teachers, and there were other people who worked in the municipal areas. There were, who else am I missing? We had people, but people had all their own interests. So some people might be interested in history, or the culture, or the ecology, or the geology, or the social aspects, the community work. So how do you get all of that in a painting? Well, somehow we've done it.
He did it.
And the inspiration is tremendous. So what we would like through this is to have everyone else inspired. Hopefully this will inspire folks to learn more about the community, more about the watersheds that we live in, and share the stories, because there's a lot of stories to share. And so before I go on to introduce, how many here were actually part of those community dialogues?
few people. Yep, Marge, put your hand up.
All right, now I'm going to call out the Kettle Lakes Board. Put your hand up, Marge. Thank you all for your support. It's been great. It's really wonderful to be here.
Hi, I'm Brandon Lazore, Onondaga Nation Snipe Clan. I'm an artist locally here. I don't live here no more, but I'm locally from here, Onondaga, Syracuse area. Been doing art probably since the mid-90s with murals throughout the city, and then in the later 2000s I started doing paintings on canvas. I still do murals and things like that, but majority of my art now would be acrylic and oil paintings. And Taki reached out to me, like she said, and we decided to go on this adventure of creating this mural. And we tried to figure out, you know, there's so much stuff that we wanted to put in this, but you can't get it all in, you know. So we tried to do as much as we could, and I'll kind of walk you through it as we unveil and show it. Should I?
Yeah, unveil it.
Yeah,
There we go.
Yay!
The first thing is we wanted all the lakes in it. So we wanted to show all of the lakes. So what I did here was I took a north-looking south view of, like on Google Map, of all the different lakes and roads and towns in this community here, to get them all in here as a centerpiece. Now, if you know my art, I try to tell a story through these different, you know, sections in my paintings. So I just, you know, do what I do, and I sectioned off as many as I could to kind of tell a story. So I'll start off down here at the bottom. You know, we talked about we wanted the Tully train station in it, so we put the Tully train station in it. And I heard a story about, you know, years ago, people from New York City would travel up to this area to vacation, and they would come up. So I put an older train in here. And it's kind of just showing people coming into this area to visit and how they would used to pull up to the train station here. And then here we have the Little York Pavilion. When I was traveled around with her, we went to all these different locations, and I learned a little bit about it. So we decided to put this building in there. And then here, I believe it's the Preble Town Hall.
Yeah.
So we put the Preble Town Hall in there also. So these were the three structures we decided we were going to put into the mural. And I put a guy driving a tractor because there's a lot of farming out here. So, you know, that pulled it in to kind of balance out the bottom of the painting. So as you go up, you know, there's a lot of people who utilize the lakes. There's a lot of fishing. There's a lot of people out on boats and stuff like that. So we wanted to show that in this lake. And then you have pearly mussels. You know, you have different various fish throughout the lake. And as you go up here, you have Hiawatha, you have beaver, you have turtles, you have dams as the beavers dam up the waters around here. You have planting of trees. You have water slides, or mudslides, I'm sorry. And you know, the different things that happen along these lakes. And Hiawatha's here because in the Haudenosaunee story, this is where he met the peacemaker in this region at one of the lakes. So it's a huge part of our story. This is when he was grieving from the loss of his daughters. And the peacemaker taught him how to condole through those daughters through these shells that he strung together that reminded him of his daughter's necklace. So we wanted to add that into the story of the area. Then over here, obviously, you have the seasons going on here. So you have kind of like a summer, fall, spring, winter. So you have all the seasons in this painting. So in the winter time, we all know that they go skiing here at Song Mountain. So, you know, you have that. You have people on skidoos. You have people ice fishing. You have people harvesting ice from the rivers and things like that. So we wanted to do like a winter scene involved in it too. Then also we wanted to add more animals here. So we added the merceders, I believe it was, the blue heron. Forgive me, I forget the name of the fish, but we did put an eel in because they are coming back. And we have pearly mussels at the bottom here throughout it, because they are at the bottom of all these lakes. And then here you have the spring scene. So there was all the seasons going around it. Now the border, these are some traditional Haudenosaunee designs that border these images. So here we have land, because this would be like a clay pot border. So we would take the land and create pots and stuff and put this border on it. So you have land. And then you have a water border right here. And then you have a vegetation border right here, of plant life. So this would encompass around the whole thing, so you have, you know, the land, the water, and then the plant life along it that borders all of this painting.
Wow. Because I know Colleen wants to talk a little bit about the Hoffman.
No, I'm good. I was going to say, let's have questions, and then remember, everybody that joined us today has a souvenir mural to put on their fridge. So please make sure you get one. They'll be by the sign-in area and the refreshment area. Absolutely.
Thanks.
Yeah.
So, questions?
What questions?
Yes.
Can you talk a little bit about the bald eagle on top of the white pine there?
Oh yeah, right here. Yes. We wanted to put an eagle there because eagles are coming back to our area, and it's also like a small little reference to the Haudenosaunee. Is on top of our pine, we have an eagle too on our tree of peace. So it's like just another reference. You know, I tried to put like a few Haudenosaunee references because I'm a Haudenosaunee artist. So just like with the bordering, you know, with the small symbolism of the eagle, with Hiawatha being there, you know, you have some clans of our clans in here, the heron, the beaver, the turtle, you know. So, you know, just little hints throughout it that say it's a Haudenosaunee artist that did it. And also, too, eagles are coming back into the area. Yeah.
Questions?
How long did it take you?
Yes.
How long did it take you to
The painting, it took me, it took 2 years to really do the whole entire thing, but to actually paint it, I would say maybe under 2 months. 2 months, because there was a lot of researching, there was a lot of meetings while I was painting. So we were having a lot of meetings. I was coming down to Tully. We were talking about things that we should add, things that, you know, we had a whole list of things we wanted to put in it, but we had to kind of narrow it down. There's so much that's going on with this area that, you know, we just had to pick a few things. So I would say as far as the actual painting on the canvas, probably a month. We ran into I ran into a thing to where it was hard to get the stretchers this big for the canvas. So I had to order them out. And, you know, and I stretched this myself. This isn't like a store-bought canvas. Then I had to gesso it, wait for that to dry. Then I started laying it out. I tend to like lay everything out in pencil before I start painting. So like, you know, this entire thing was laid out in pencil, and then I just started filling it in like a coloring book. You know, like something like that. Yes, thank you.
Yeah.
Can you point out which lake is which?
I can't personally.
So you've got Crooked Lake, Song Lake. Right, so you're looking, well, you've got a bird's eye view.
Yeah.
Think of it that way. You're looking south, so the bird's eye view. So these are the smaller Kettle Lakes up here. Tully Lake is over here. This is Green Lake in Tully. All right, and then going down to Little York, and this is the connector river, which is the west branch of the Tiapi River. And then all the way down to the Susquehanna.
This would be a view looking towards Cortland.
Yep.
Okay.
Like you're standing in Tully looking towards Cortland.
Right.
Yeah.
So what is the one on the upper right?
This is Song, I believe.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes.
So think of it, this is the watershed divide, okay, happens right at Crooked Lake.
Yeah. Oh. And if I could point out, he added some of the road designations, so this would be Lake Road going down that way. I would like to just add a detail that Brandon alluded to. Because of the grant money that we received generously from Cornell University and those initiatives, we really wanted a goal of showing people that our lakes are threatened by that stormwater. So this corner here, this represents what happened to Ripley Road and Hollenbeck Road in 2018. And it was a quick storm that happened, and before you knew it, things were flooded. So we ended up in that October working with Onondaga Soil and Water and planting 600 saplings on the hill above the waste treatment plant, because there was a belief that it could have threatened to breach. So this whole thing is going to be connected generously through Cornell. If you and your young people know how to use QR codes, as you look into it, you're going to be brought into each of the quadrants and the descriptions of them and what's in those areas. So it's a living thing. We're going to keep adding to it. So also make sure you look at the slideshow, the story map that's going on in the back room, because that tells a little bit about the creation of this, but it also tells the history of flooding and what's in our ecosystem. So make sure you stop by.